What's up, grappler fans? If y'all have been keeping up with my 6.7 Powerstroke conversion, you know that I totally gutted my Copart wrecked 2016 F250 and got it down to just a frame and a drivable, dash. Isn't that crazy? And I also picked up a couple old Ford bodies that I want to use for this swap. Oh, there she is. I also haven't made much progress lately, and if you've been keeping up with the channel, you saw that I just bought this first gen Cummins, as well as this car hauler trailer with two 5,200-pound axles to move all this crap to my new house. So since I explained all that, you might have seen a couple videos about the Cummins and my Bronco, which was green. It's now been painted and already has some mud graps on it, but a lot has happened since then. I wanted to catch y'all up real quick in this video about all the crazy, just unforeseen issues I ran into while trying to move all this stuff to a new state. So with that, let me get back to this truck. As you can see, I was trying to load the thing up on the trailer, and it picked up this whole Dodge like it was, a little Dodge Dakota or something. But just throwing that thing in full-wheel drive kept it, moving instead of pushing the trailer. It still picked the truck up, but it went right up on there. I'm cool with rubbing, it's just really breaking things.
They're both rubbing. Them graps were so thick.
I don't know about that, boys. I don't think she's gonna fit. I wanted to add in some voiceover to kind of explain the situation some. I didn't have time to make clips because I just sold this house. I had to be out. I had like 6 trucks to move, and buying this trailer without being able to test fit anything was really risky. I measured everything, but it was not looking good. I'm gonna just see if it really fights me or if it wants to go a little bit. Just so y'all know, those are 38 by 1550 mud graps on stock wheels, no spacers. That brought the truck to about 83 inches wide from the mud grap tread on either side. So that's a big, wide setup to fit on this car hauler, even though it's a pretty good sized trailer. That went way better than I thought. I did not think it was going to fit on an 82-inch wide trailer. That's crazy. While we were loading that thing up, the Bronco was still getting worked on. I had decided to get it painted real quick because it had been hit by some debris in a storm, and really needed a paint job anyway. So I went ahead and decided to do it, but the timing did not work out that well because the shop I took it to was really backed up and they barely met the deadline. So I had to go, kind of help them out as much as I could and go check on everything. So let me show y'all where the Bronco was at during this time, and then we'll get back to the truck. It actually went on the trailer kind of crooked, as y'all might have noticed. The back end was off to one side and the weight wasn't right, so ended up having to readjust that, and we'll get back to the trip.
Good, good.
Yeah,
enjoying another beautiful
glad to
day.
get rid of that rust spot. That's solid.
Yeah.
Solid to see.
I'm just gonna have to take and weld us a little piece in there.
Yeah, there's a
That's
good
that
bit missing
glass,
there.
and glass isn't gonna work.
Yeah,
But
I feel you.
other than
Nice.
that,
Yeah, it's pretty flaky there. I was concerned about it, but I'm sure y'all get it hooked up.
we got the rest of our spots kind of wiped this morning. And
Yeah, I see that.
we're going back around, knocking them down, fixing to block it all out.
Looks good.
Other than that, we're almost ready for power.
Yeah, nice, dude. It's awesome.
Yep, and then we'll get the top in here and get it looked at and sanded down.
Sweet. Let me know what y'all think of how that old bed looks on the new frame already. It's totally just chilling there and held on with a few straps, but I thought it looked really close already. Obviously, I'm going to be tweaking everything, stretching some panels to get it just right. I do not want the wheelbase to look like it's on a new frame. I want everything to look original, so it's going to take a ton of work, but it already looks killer. Every time I put an old body panel on here, I just get so excited about what this thing is going to be when it's done. I ended up checking on the Bronco the next day before I was able to make my trip with the 6.7 to the new house. So here's where the Bronco was at that next day. They were really busting it out pretty quick, but still had a lot of work to be done. And as this video goes on, you'll be able to see what that Bronco looked like, what the paint color I chose and everything. So stay tuned.
What I did here is where these brackets go, I grinded it all the way down to bare metal, so therefore it would never have any kind of rust issues.
That's great.
Same thing with the bottom of the tailgate. It had the rust all the way across the
Yeah,
bottom.
that was bad right in here mainly too. Nice.
I opened it up for the inside, sprayed some phospho in there to kill the rust. Same thing with the top. That one little spot that we had here.
Yeah, that's totally gone now.
It killed it.
You guys see, you got the doors off and everything. I should have started filming when I walked in here. Yeah, that looks so much better. That's crazy. There's the door here.
It's definitely straight now.
So how are we?
And I went back, let me go ahead and tell you too.
Yeah.
I re-seam sealed.
Oh yeah, that looks good.
And then I re-seam sealed the drip rails too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So therefore it doesn't.
Nice, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's cool. Man, y'all definitely one step ahead of me, but I'm like, oh, I'd like to do this. You're like, oh, we already got something for that. Plus something else.
The top was matte black with the
yeah, that's true.
And we took it down to bare metal.
Okay. Here's a clip from me dropping it off from my OBS Bronco series. You can see the black top, the black roof, and also how I took the handles and mirrors and everything off for this thing to get painted. Check out that series if you want to see the process. This paint really needed some love. Nice. How's the actual top? Like,
we're gonna get it in as soon as he starts painting. I'm gonna get on it and start getting it prepped.
Sweet.
Other than taking the doors off,
yeah,
that was the only thing we took apart.
Nice. Yeah, I'm glad I was able to get most of it stripped for y'all. You know, the handles and everything. That stuff was kind of time consuming. You know, it takes a while, so I didn't want y'all to be stuck doing that. With the Bronco coming along nicely, I need to get out of town. But first, my buddy Solomon from the Ford era wanted to come by the house. He was in town for a battle in Bama. He has a 12-valve Cummins-powered bump-side crew cab that's very much like what I plan to do with my yellow truck. Check out that video. Awesome truck. I just stopped at Buc-ee's to fuel up and check all my straps. So far, so good. And you wouldn't believe it, this big professional looking rig right here belongs to somebody that watches my YouTube channel. They are probably the most well-off person that has seen the junkyard I got going on here, but he knows all about it. He apparently has seen the black truck go to O'Reilly's and remembers me driving to McDonald's in the 6.7, but check this thing out. I appreciate you stopping and talking to me. This thing is crazy. So you said it was a 302, but it stroked out to 4. Okay, nice. That's crazy. What's this 425 on the side here?
That's just what they call the engine.
Okay, man, that thing's crazy.
425 horse, but they actually make
awesome.
about 460. We got
Man,
restrictor plates.
let me try to get my flash on in here. Oh, that's a little better. That thing's awesome. It's got coilovers, little sleeves on it and everything? That's cool. Yeah, it's total custom chassis and everything. It's big. It's a big car. And you got a rack, you could put 2 of them in here. Man, that's crazy. Yeah, look at this setup. That is awesome. Man, y'all are doing it right. One day I might have my stuff together like y'all. I don't know. That's crazy.
Might have it together like that.
Yeah, shoot. So how'd y'all do in the race? I see you got a little fender bender here.
He's doing good before that happened.
Oh man, how far into the race?
We still finished, but
that's good.
they don't drive good at that speed when the air gets messed up.
Did you lose a tire on that one? Or oh really? That's good.
Finished with the same one.
Y'all usually bring a couple sets of tires for something like this, or is it okay? What's the track like that y'all usually run?
Half mile,
Nice.
asphalt.
That's awesome. Well, thanks so much for showing me your setup here. I'm super impressed. What year is this truck pulling it in here?
20.
Man. Yeah, that's the setup right there. Whew. Super nice. Always cool meeting some other car enthusiasts, but man, that was awesome. They knew who I was and been keeping up with the project. It was so nice to talk to them, but I had to get back on the road. Had a long night ahead of me. I had a late start. Well, that was random. Beautiful sunrise this morning. As y'all can see, I drove all through the night to get there and deal with some house stuff with the realtor. I saw the sun come up, turned around and went back to pick up my 67 crew cab. Meanwhile, the Bronco was getting finished up and I was able to pick it up as well. Had a buddy come help me bring it back to the new house. Man, that color is so sick. That is crazy. Yeah, it's nice when that panel goes on there. Cover that up. That matte on the top looks awesome. That's crazy. I'm so glad we went this color. It looks so good. That is insane. I'll definitely have to film more later, go in depth with it, but first impressions, love this Kodiak brown. Got everything loaded up. Got the 12 valve and the 6.0 fired up, warming up. Got my 67 crew cab with a spare cab in the bed on the new trailer, and the Bronco fresh out of paint loaded up on Joe's trailer. And we got Tricka's 6.0 on ridge graps looking fresh. It's gonna be quite the adventure dropping these suckers off. I've been on the road non-stop lately, but let's get to the new house. And there's a couple cool things here. Battle and Bama's going on right now at Mobile, so there'll be some stuff around for that. But typical weekend day here, everything's freaking slam packed. They got a couple hundred pumps probably, and there's still not enough. It's a couple that just left the show. Everything all matches. Got the little kid rig set up. I think this is one of the guys from at least Team Billet or something. Yeah, he's got the Team Billet caps there. This thing's awesome. Huge. Oh, come on now. That is just adorable. A dually pulling a jet ski. That is something else. Then we got a single rear wheel with a jet ski. I think there's another one up there too. We just stopped to pee and check our straps, and everything's looking pretty good. Super excited about how the Bronco's looking. I've been staring at it, and Dodge is still holding up pretty decent, seems. Yeah, get back on the road. I knew this day was coming. Joe, I'm sorry. It's just one too many miles on your trailer. We got a flat. Oh no. Hopefully we got the stuff to do it. I brought my impact and a jack and everything, but that's no good. I didn't have him time me. I think that was pretty quick though. Probably like 3 minutes in so far. I knew I was gonna need this eventually. This is just the jack from my old F-250. And just like that, we're back on the road. Main casualty here is his fender. That really sucks. I'm gonna owe him some money for that. Well, we got the tire done, and I went to crank the Dodge back up, and we got no start action. We think we blew this guy up here, so we're about to bypass it. It was smoking and looks pretty burnt, so we're about to just cut it out and then connect the wires together and see if that does stuff. All right, we just electricianed that together and got rid of that connector there. Hopefully that makes this thing make noise again. We'll see. What? All right, so that didn't work, but when we were cutting, let me back up some. When we were cutting the wires, it tried to turn over by itself. So we disconnected the battery. So we knew that it was something in that issue. We took the electrical tape off and touched them together. When we touched the two wires together, it started right up. I had the key to in the run position to get it to stay running, but we literally just had to hot wire this thing. Something ain't right with fusible link or something. I don't know what's going on with this thing, but it's running now, so we're gonna get to the house and not shut it off. As y'all can see, all the trucks made it to the house, just barely. We had a lot of issues between the flat tire and the Dodge not wanting to start. Among a bunch of other delays and everything, we got here way later than we thought, and we had to go back and be at work because I hadn't left my current job yet. With that, the Dodge not only didn't want to start, but once we got it running, we got it back to the house. I made it through my gate just barely. I had to kind of finagle around the corner with this long trailer, and I was having to go full lock to get it just right, to get it to fit back here next to the other trucks and still have room to unload the black truck. The power steering went out right as soon as I got to the gate. It totally locked out. Luckily it was the last trip, because I would not have been able to fix it in time to get back and bring another load here. So power steering is still not working on this thing. I thought it was a power steering pump. I'll pop the hood for you. It has no power steering right now, and it wasn't the pump. I'll be going more in depth with it later when I have time. But you can see I've got the intercooler pipe taken off here. You see down here is my power steering and vacuum pump. And the way this thing works, it's got a gear driven vacuum pump that is also connected to the power steering pump. So there's a shaft, and some like kind of cam interlocking links that power the power steering pump via the vacuum pump. Well, it broke on the vacuum pump side, so I got no output going into the power steering pump. I'm probably saying this wrong, but basically the engine powers the vacuum pump, which powers the power steering pump, and it broke in between the vacuum pump and the power steering pump. So putting a new power steering pump did nothing. Still didn't work because nothing was turning it. So I got to put a vacuum pump on it, which I have sitting right here in the center of the old bench seat here. I'll be going more in depth with that. I think I found a pretty cool company that kind of refurbishes these things. So we'll see how that goes, and I'll give y'all more information later. So right now I got a broke down Dodge. The rest of the stuff, everything will start up. The old yellow truck should still run with the straight 6.7. Probably got a dead battery, but stuff's been sitting here for a little bit. I got the Bronco good to go so I could drive it to work. Been super busy at work, and as some of y'all have seen on Instagram, my house has been crazy trying to get everything right. I had a pipe burst, and I was in the middle of redoing floors that got ruined. So all kinds of stuff at the house. Had to replace a bunch of siding and everything, but we're here, and I'm planning on building a shop, possibly over on that side of the yard. Might do a nice metal building to get this stuff done, because it rains all the dang time here, and I need a lift. Like I need more help than I thought, and with not having my boys here now that I've moved to a new state, I was planning on having us all pick the stuff up and kind of manhandling it all. I'm gonna need the help of a shop. Luckily I made a little money selling the house, but that's another story. I wanted to give a big shout out to all my buddies back in Alabama that helped me pick everything up, strap everything down. Michael Tricka with that 6.0, when he drove out here that night, it was pretty much an all-nighter type deal with no sleep, and we brought all my stuff here, and then I rode back with him, so we used a ton of his fuel and everything. I did help him as best I could, but he was refusing much money from me. Really nice dude, and he pretty much did all the driving because I was so zonked from the previous trips. On the way back, I drove for like 15 minutes, and I was like, this is unsafe. I'm about to fall asleep. So big shout out to everybody that helped out. Joe, thank you for letting me use your trailer. I'm sorry we popped the tire and messed up the fender. I hope the new set of tires works out well for that thing. But it's been a crazy trip getting here. I hope y'all are excited to see this project come together. If you are somehow new to this, the 6.7 is getting this black truck's body. That black truck's rusted out and needs to be redone anyway. So I'm going to be totally sandblasting it and putting some of these single cab parts on here to fix some of the rust and get that 6.7 engine, tuned up, have that thing lifted up a little bit on some nice nittos. Very excited about it. Thank y'all so much for watching. Consider subscribing and check out Grappaholics on Instagram. Got a visitor living in my rusty truck.